AskReddit by Warbeast86. What was ruined because too many people did it? We had an amazing Halloween house in our small town, walking distance from my place. Every year the family who owned it would bring in Hollywood level props and lighting and 10 or so actors in full regalia to replicate a Pirates of the Caribbean scene all around the property. The Jack Sparrow was a dead ringer for Johnny Depp. Every kid would get a bag full of real candy, not the mini Halloween stuff. Unfortunately, people started coming from other towns and it turned into a mob scene to the point that cops had to direct traffic and they shut it down. There's a house like this in southern New Jersey, but for Christmas and in the theme of Christmas vacation. The local police do help direct traffic and the owners of the home leaned into the popularity, taking donations for some charity. I can't remember which. I went a couple of years ago. When a house like that becomes overly popular, I think it could end up being a good thing. A shame it got shut down. Deleted. Etsy, it's all resellers that run fake craft stores selling cheaply made junk. There's a handful of crafters on Etsy, and the rest is Amazon resellers and cheap Chinese stuff. I've also noticed that Etsy is getting oversaturated with unoriginal girl who owns a cricket businesses. I know so many people who make mama bear shirts and live laugh love tumblers as a side hustle. Visiting major historical sites. Most of them have been turned into badly maintained, super expensive tourist traps. Add in the trash and damages tourists do, and yikes. Gettysburg is one of those places. Within the last decade or so, a lot of the museums have closed only to be replaced by ghost tour companies, wineries, and breweries. I'd guess at least a quarter, if not more, of the local economy comes from ghost tours and alcohol. It is not the same town it once was. Craft fairs. Now they're crowded with dozens of MLMs. I just want to find knitted slippers made by an old lady who clearly has a drinking problem, not more nor less. One of the small towns I've lived in has an annual street fair. Used to be great as you'd have local artists and crafters, local food trucks and kids rides, and while it did bring in outside people for the day, it was predominantly local, so you'd wander around and stop often to chat. Local politician decided to set up a booth one year. The next year the opponent did the same thing, and now one whole street of the fair is just filled with local politicians handing out flyers and trying to get people to vote for them. Really dragged down the tone of the fair. Havasupai Falls in AZ. Went back in the early 2000s and it was nice and little to no trash. Now all these fuckheads have trashed the park and overcrowded it for a effing Instagram post, making wait times ungodly long. I hold great anger towards people that litter in cities, but I get enraged at dipshits that litter in parks. Like, WTF is wrong with you people? Clean up your shit. And for those who actually care, please bring a waste bag and we can start cleaning up after these fucksticks. Havasupai is ruined. I am not sure what will happen when they reopen in the end of May 2023. If I remember correctly, the 3-night camp permit costs $750 per person. Therefore, it's not just assholes, but rich assholes who ruined it. You used to be one of only a few people around bidding on storage lockers. It used to be a fun hobby I gave up on because it became too popular and people are grossly overpaying for the lockers, which is oftentimes just paying to make a dump run for someone. In a similar vein, liquidation stuff. Now every pallet is picked over, costs 50% of MSRP, and is half broken. Thrift shopping. Yup, 15 years ago the prices were so cheap and you could always find a gem. Now they're always crowded and everything is overpriced, and you might find something good once every 2-3 visits if you're lucky. Flying drones. Thanks to all the idiots doing dumb shit with them, it's not even worth getting into the hobby nowadays. You pretty much can't fly anywhere worth flying, need all sorts of permits, are constantly risking hefty fines or even being investigated for terrorism. No thanks. Deleted. Airbnb. Used to love Airbnb years ago. Now it's pricier than a lot of decent hotels, and some of the house rules are nutty. Ad block. Now every website has a warning. It used to be a rare sight. Fun fact, you can block ad block warnings. Technically, they're ads. Cooking shows. It used to be a few talented chefs who had shows to teach. Now it's every damn celebrity who can or cannot cook making the same recipes as everyone else. I miss the Food Network back in the day with good eats. The Appalachian Trail. People leaving their trash everywhere is really ruining the trail, and it's so fucking crowded now. People who litter on trails or campsites or in general annoy the fuck out of me. If you brought it in, you are fully capable of bringing it out. Do you actually like being out in nature if you leave your trash in it? Etsy. Started out as a legit community to buy and amp, sell original handmade arts and amp, crafts, all kinds of art made and sold by the artists. It was really cool. Then it started to turn a profit and it became whatever the fuck it is now. Yeah, now it's hard not to find something that's also available on Alibaba or AliExpress. I've found a few local shops that I've purchased high quality handmade goods from, but it takes a lot more effort than it used to. Driving to work early. I used to do it, but now it's the same as morning rush hour. Just go earlier and skip sleep. Writing children's books. Used to be an art form, then every celebrity has written one. More like every celebrity has paid a ghostwriter to write one for them. Festivals. I used to enjoy going to some local festivals. Now they're just overcrowded and expensive. Overcrowded, expensive and corporatized. The summit of Mt Everest is like a trash heap now. You forgot to mention the fact that it's basically a mass grave now too. Fun stuff indeed. Apple picking. Orchards used to involve parking on a dirt lot, climbing trees to get the best fruit, and paying per bag. Visiting a farm. That's it. Now there's admission, paid parking, hay rides, food stands, live music, photo taking areas, etc. Feels like a tourist trap. Because it is. And at most places you can't even pick your own apples anymore. Because too many people ruin trees by not being careful climbing them. Streaming services. I miss the days of one single service, Netflix. Now every studio has its own service and holds their stuff away from services like Netflix and Hulu. Direct consequence, too many subscriptions. At this point it's more economical to buy stuff you want to watch. This is why people resort to pirating. There's so many things and places most people didn't know about prior to Instagram and influencers visiting and taking photos there. Think Manhattan Henge used to be a cool phenomenon only cared about or noticed by some, but now everyone and their mother comes out lining and blocking the streets for something that was once a hey look at that's interesting kind of thing. Now it's just kind of goofy. I thought Manhattan Henge was cool the first time I saw a photo. Then I saw 500 more of the exact same photo. Really takes away from it being a neat phenomenon. Especially now, where everyone's photos have 50 other people in front of them also holding up their phones. The house flipping trend has certainly not helped home affordability. It's good to make a junk house habitable again. It's not good to turn a $220 K house into a $350 K house. Also, there are so many home flips that are basically lipstick on a pig. Yes, those new granite countertops are nice, but the plumbing is still 70 years old and needs to be replaced, and now I need to rip out those countertops to get to it. Or they use cheap grade materials that don't last very long. I wish people would buy homes and fix them up to live in them, instead of trying to turn a profit so they can buy someone else's place who did the same thing. Whatever the hot new tourism spot is. For example, my grandfather used to spend weekends in Nashville when it was a more down-to-earth low-key town. Now it's one of the hottest travel destinations and is just swamped everywhere. Any place that has a bumper sticker that says keep X weird, I automatically assume they're just banking on the copy-paste tourist crap every other city does. Basically anything outdoorsy. Hiking trails, national parks, fishing spots, etc. It's fun when you're the only person on the trail, the lake, or at the campsite. It's not so fun when you're hiking and someone is blasting their music on their Bluetooth speaker, when the lake is packed and people decide to fish 10 feet away from you and are obnoxiously loud, or you go to a national park and there is graffiti and trash everywhere, random people's names carved into the largest and oldest trees on earth, and mobs of tourists taking selfies in the middle of the trail. People don't know how to respect nature. People don't appreciate silence. People don't know how to leave no trace or appreciate the natural beauty in the world around them. Shopping at Target yesterday. Holy crap. The line went all the way to the produce section. In my dorm room, there was a vending machine that, with just the perfect push of the button, would dispense 2 Sprites. For a few of us, it lasted around 6 months. Then they fixed the machine after one loose lip led to another. Open lips snatch sips. Oh yeah. We had 5-cent peanut M&M's in our vending machine at work until someone blabbed, "That beach from the beach." Oh shit, I just googled, they actually closed it for a few years. Living in Iceland got fucked up due to Iceland becoming a popular tourist destination. Prices are way up, housing has skyrocketed, lots of reasons, big one being Airbnb, and our nature monuments are slowly being eroded by dumbass tourists. I'm a native, but I can barely afford to live here anymore. I swear Airbnb is the bane of everyone. Deleted. I wish you could downvote thumbnails. Whatever that formula that caught on is, it's terrible. The one where you look like a fucking confused idiot posing in front of some clickbait title with random words capitalized. COVID ruined the national and state parks. Too many assholes not respecting the land, leaving trash, tagging rocks with graffiti, and crowding the trails. That was a phenomenon that I was not expecting. People were driving 4 hours to hike where I lived at the beginning of the pandemic, leaving garbage everywhere, dumping RV waste wherever and just being terrible visitors. A lot of people who had never been camping were unaware of camping etiquette, like shutting the fuck up late at night and not abandoning active fires. I didn't run into these people much before that because their vacation destinations were places I generally wouldn't go, and I was happy when they started reopening.